Hello, stupid.
Hello, Saniya.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good. Ready for this episode. We're doing a later than usual record, but I feel like it's still noon for me, but it's almost evening.
Yeah, it's late into the evening here, and the vibe is different, but
Yeah.
maybe in a good way. Who knows? Maybe it's gonna be a good thing.
Has the
Maybe
sun
it's gonna be a
set?
disaster. Oh yeah, it's fully dark. It's almost 9,
Oh, okay.
right?
Wait, the sun's already set? I feel like yesterday our sun didn't set till 9.
Are we doing this again? Are we gonna talk about temperature, weather again?
Maybe we are.
Yeah, no, the sunset probably around 7:45. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fascinating stuff.
Tell me more about when the sun sets. I'm kidding.
Yeah. And because we're later in the day, I feel like my body's like, ooh, time to chill and relax. And I poured myself this hefty drink. And while I was waiting for you, I was sipping away at it. I already refilled it with more Coke in it or whatever.
Oh.
And I'm feeling the buzz.
What you drinking?
So I thought I was creating something maybe oh, I'm just invented something new. It's going to be delicious.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
What is it? Rum and
It's
Coke?
no. It's amaretto. I don't know why I said
Ooh.
that weird. Amaretto and tequila and Coke.
Oh, okay. The tequila is interesting in there.
Yeah, because I couldn't find the rum. I knew where it was, but it was deep in a placard in a cupboard. Placard in English. It was deep in a cupboard that was high up. I didn't feel like getting it, and the
Yeah.
tequila was right there. So I was like, let me just pour some tequila.
Oh, yum.
Would have been better with some rum,
Yeah.
but it's fine. Does the
Feels
trick.
so tropical, I feel like.
I know. Yeah.
That's fun. I'm just having water. So boring.
Still being good. Still being sober.
Yeah. Still being sober. Yeah.
How are you
I
holding
keep
on?
joking with people. I'm like, this might be a thing for me.
Do anyone believe you?
No one believes me. No one's like,
No.
everyone's like, yeah, right. I was like, what if it is? What if I'm
What if it is?
sober?
Yeah.
I'm joking. I'm already making plans to drink. I found for my Nespresso some decaf capsules, and I was like, cool, I'm gonna make espresso martinis in the evening when my sister comes over, because my sister is coming next tomorrow. So I
That's so
don't I don't
exciting.
think the sober is gonna last long. I know, I'm
Yeah.
so excited. My nephew is coming with her, and then my brother-in-law is gonna come the week after.
Yeah.
My nephew's 3 now, so he's super excited, because the last time he visited he was 8 months, so he didn't really
Right.
know what was going on.
Yeah. Is it going to be the first time your sister sees the condo?
No, she's come
Okay.
once before when he was 8 months.
Okay.
That was 2 years ago. My nephew, I think he's scared of cats, or I don't think he's ever met a cat,
Mm.
but he just is unfamiliar with them. His dad is scared of cats, so I think he has a inherited fear.
Really? I don't
Yeah,
feel like you hear fear of cats often.
really. So that's the thing. I think people don't say they're scared of cats, but they
Mm.
don't know what to do with a cat. And then when she does a sudden movement, they get freaked out.
You know why they don't say they're afraid of cat?
What?
Because they're afraid they'll pass for a scaredy cat.
And you
And
didn't
that
even do
wasn't my
that
dad
joke.
joke.
That was so good. That
Thank you.
deserves a clap.
Thank you.
That was so good. I
Let's see
wish
if
I came
people
up with
agree.
that.
Yeah. Also, do I look crazy red on the video for you? I feel like I'm super red.
A little bit, yeah. And you didn't look that red before, actually. I wonder if it's your drink getting to you.
It's you.
Oh,
I'm
I make you
blushing. You're
blushing.
making me shy.
Because I clapped for your dad joke.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Speaking of, do you want to hear my dad joke?
No. I'm kidding, sure.
It's I had to write it down because it's a bit. It's not from the book. It's a bit of
Oh,
a spicier one today,
we're
also.
going off book here.
We're going off
Spicy.
book. Yeah. What's the difference between a casual dinner party and a pirate orgy?
Casual dinner party and a pirate art orgy. Uh, I don't know. Something about parrots. I don't know.
In the first one, you come as you are. In the second one, you are as you come.
So lame. That one's so bad. I can't. So bad.
Yeah, I love that one.
That's so funny. Do my teeth look really yellow right now?
Wow, you moved on from that so fast.
So sorry. I'm just like I'm looking it's like me when I was telling you a story. You started talking about
Yeah.
red. I was cleaning my spice
No, they look
cupboard
fine.
and turmeric spilled everywhere. And for some reason, as I'm looking at myself on camera, I'm like, did it get on my teeth?
Wow, yeah, that's why you always need to make sure to close your mouth when you're cleaning your spice cooker. I don't know where I'm going with that. Let's move on.
You really tried there.
Yeah, I know. It's because I was on a high of that scaredy cat one.
That was so good that I don't
I'll
even
never,
remember what story I was telling you.
yeah, I'll never be able to peak that high again.
Yeah, you should have saved that for like a special day.
A live show or something.
Yeah. Yeah, like
Yeah.
anytime a cat story comes up, you're gonna have that in the back of your head. You just try and pop it out. That's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, shall we get into it?
Let's. Yes.
All right. Well, I know you were getting a little bored by our weather talk, but guess what I have for you today?
No, you're kidding me. What did
We're
you say?
talking about weather.
No. Oh, what did you do?
Well, we're talking about specifically a type of weather.
Okay.
We're talking about clouds. I'm
I'm
dying.
scared.
I don't know why I find this so funny right now.
Oh my god.
But let's start with talking about the cycle of rain, which comes from
Okay.
clouds, right?
Right.
What do you know about that? How does it
Um
rain? What creates rain?
well, what we learn in school, right? Like the water from the ground evaporates,
Hmm.
and then as it goes in higher in the sky, it cools down and like conglomerate together and creates a cloud until it's so heavy that it falls back down.
Oh, okay. So you paid attention in school.
I
Great
did.
job. I thought I was going to stump you with that. I was kind of excited too.
Was that your entire episode?
That was my entire episode. We're done. Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
But so yeah, exactly. The natural cycle of rain is within a cloud, water droplets condense into one another, causing the droplets to grow. When the droplets get too heavy to stay in the clouds, they start falling on Earth as rain.
Mhm.
Clouds form from water and ice that has been evaporated from Earth's surface or from
Yeah.
plants that give off water and oxygen as product of photosynthesis. I love that word. The coolest word I ever learned in school, I think.
Wait, because of photosynthesis, the what? How does that create a cloud?
So it could be like water either comes from the Earth's surfaces or plants when they give off water
Oh
and
yeah, yeah.
oxygen, it goes into the air.
Okay, okay.
When it evaporates, that is, it rises from the Earth's surface into the atmosphere. Water is the form of gas, water, vapor. A form of a gas, water, or vapor.
Right.
Water vapor turns into clouds when it cools and condenses, and that is turns back into liquid or ice. And then, like, that depends on the temperature, right? If it's warm outside, it'll be rain. If it's cold outside, it will be snow or hail or ice, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All right. So, what do you know about clouds? Like, do you know anything
What do I know
interesting?
about them?
Yeah.
Oh shoot, there's like cumulus and strato something nimbus and yeah, and I remember like they mean something different, like with the air pressure.
Uh huh.
So I think if the pressure's very strong, they're just like in slates, like those kind of those. I don't remember the name. I think this Strato or something. I was paying
Okay.
a lot in cloud school,
That
cloud,
is
cloud, cloud class.
that is insane. Okay, I don't know if you remember this though. When we used to teach together, we used to have a lesson plan about clouds itself.
Oh wait, I don't think I did remember that.
Yeah,
I'm sure I let you do that one, and I just
yeah,
walked
because
out
it was the
and
most
went for a smoke
boring
break or
thing
something.
ever.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I kind of thought about going into clouds a bit more on this one, and then I like listened to a podcast about it, and I was like, "There's no way I can make this interesting." Um, so I do apologize. We're not going into clouds as much.
Oh my god. Was that just a bit? The whole thing?
Yeah, no, I'm joking. We are talking about something very cool to do with clouds.
Okay, okay.
Have you heard about cloud seeding?
Cloud seeding?
Yeah.
No.
You've never heard about cloud seeding. So it's been coming up a lot for me in the last, like, I want to say a couple of weeks where I keep hearing about cloud seeding. And I was like, what the fuck is cloud seeding?
Yeah, seriously, I've never heard of
So,
that.
one reason it came up is because apparently, rumor has it that the Dubai floods that happened last year
Yeah.
were caused by cloud seeding.
So we're talking about like real clouds, not just like the cloud in the internet. Because for me, it sounds like some like
Yeah,
internet
no,
thing.
real life clouds, right?
Okay.
So I'll talk a little bit more about the device stuff after, but we'll talk about cloud seeding to start. So
Okay.
cloud seeding is
First of
a
all, sorry. Can I just say how relief I am that we're not doing an episode on clouds? I was really trying to be supportive there.
you were scared for me.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I feel like at first I was gonna start off this episode with like a whole spiel about clouds. But
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way. This is not like pigeons. Like there's
Yeah.
nothing to it.
There's nothing to
And I would have bored everyone to sleep.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to cloud seeding.
Okay, perfect. Carry on. Sorry for interrupting you.
No, that's okay. All right, so cloud seeding is a weather modification technique that improves the ability for a cloud to produce rain or snow by introducing tiny ice nuclei to certain types of subfreezing clouds.
What?
So, this is a man made thing that we do to create rain or snow, depending on the climate.
What? We can literally control the weather?
Yeah, and it's practiced all over the world. People do it, or they do it here in Canada. Um, and it's very common. Um,
Whoa.
yeah. So these nuclei provide a base of for snowflake to form. After cloud seeding takes place, the newly formed snowflakes quickly grow and fall from the clouds back to the Earth's surface, and it increases either snow or stream floor or whatever they're trying to achieve by cloud seeding.
So it could be rain also, or snow, or
Exactly,
I
like
imagine
depending
not
on the climate,
hail. I don't
right?
think anyone would want to create hail, but
Yeah, and you know what? It's funny because it's actually used to decrease hail.
oh, okay, okay.
So most commonly used to increase precit, precit, bleh. It's gonna come
Precipitation.
out.
Oh no, I screwed it.
Precipitation.
Yeah, there you
Thank you,
go.
thank you. You helped me there. I'm not gonna become another internet meme. So it's most commonly used to increase precipitation as drought management techniques. Cloud seeding is also regularly used to clear air fog from airports, fight forest fires, and suppress hail, and even divert rainfall.
What?
So, one of the common ways it was used was in, or not one of the common, one of the most famous ways it was used is in the Olympics in Beijing in 2008. So
Okay.
it was, forecasted to rain during the Olympics in Beijing. And that would not be ideal for whatever games were taking place. So what they did is they used two aircrafts and an array of 20 artillery and rocket launching sites around Beijing.
Okay.
And the city's weather engineers shot and sprayed silver iodine and dry ice into incoming clouds that were still far away enough, and that was that made it able for those clouds to flush out their rain before it reached over the stadium.
What? I
Insane,
didn't.
right?
I had no idea that was a thing. That's like so sci-fi.
It sounds so cool. It sounds like modern day technology, but it's been around since 1940s.
Really?
Yeah.
Why
So
did we not know about this more? Are we
I
just
that
dumb?
like literally I was like, why am I finding out about this now?
Mm.
Why has
Mm.
it not been talked about more? So essentially to break it down for you on how it happens.
Okay.
So depending on where it is, they're using either drones, rockets, plane, or sometimes even ground-based generators to send substances like silver iodine into the clouds.
Okay.
This attracts liquid molecules, which build up, and then when they get too heavy, they fall.
Hmm.
So, what's it called? So, like I said before, like if depending on where it is, but if it is colder climates, it would fall as snow, and then in warmer climates, it fall as rain.
Mm.
It takes place within 30 minutes. So, or about 30 minutes. So it's not like, hey, you see the clouds and then it rains like 2 days later. It's in the moment that they
Almost
start.
like instant.
Exactly, right? So, like, I guess
Why is that
taking
even
that.
more freaky to me? Like that's even wilder.
I know, because it's funny, because the whole time I did my research, I kept thinking it happened over days.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But when I read this Beijing example, that's when I'm like, wait, they flushed out the rain before it reached over the stadium. So that's when I kind of like, wait, how long does it take? And it's just 30 minutes.
Hmm.
So I feel like when I was also reading this, I was like, I can totally imagine rich people being like, oh no, it's going to rain on my wedding day. It's forecasted. Let's get some of these silver iodines to drop up in those clouds before it reaches my venue. You know what I mean?
Right? Crazy.
Yeah. And I also, I mean, you tell me, what kind of like devices are you imagining in the sky?
Uh, did you see the movie Tornado in like the late 90s? I think it came out.
Yeah, I think I have actually.
And they like go in the eye of a tornado and they release like these little like circle robots that like just fly up in the tornado.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking? That's what I'm
Yeah.
picturing in my head.
That's so funny. Same, but you know what? Same. I pictured some like super sci-fi looking devices.
Yeah.
This video I watched of them launching it in Texas, where this like journalist went on the plane with them. It was those little planes, like propeller planes, and they just had flares on the wings that just kind of shot into clouds. And I was like, "That's it." Like
Yeah.
that made it seem so easy.
So
Uh
do they, I mean, probably not. But is that kind of those trails that you see from the airplane sometimes when they fly?
Yeah, so some of the times it is like I mean it does leave a trail, so I'm guessing sometimes it's other things or just like the
Yeah.
fumes from the jet, but sometimes when you do look up, it might be clouds being seeded.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So like I said, the first experiment was done in 1946. Um it is very effective. So research shows that this increases precipitation from 5% to 15%. Um, but the hard part is it's very hard to assess cloud seeding and how effective it is because
Hmm.
no two clouds are the same. So you can't compare what happens to a cloud with a different cloud.
Right.
So some clouds may not have that much water and would not make it rain, while you could see the rain clouds that are coming that have been seeded would make it rain, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And like I imagine like, oh, we were able to make it rain this much millimeters out of this cloud. Doesn't mean it was more successful than another one. It just means that maybe that cloud had even more rain in it or something like that.
Exactly. It was almost ready to fall or whatever, you
Yeah, yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah. And then so it's planted with silver iodine, which is apparently not harmful to
That was my
humans.
other question. It was just like, we're just gonna rain those metals onto the population and on the vegetation.
Yeah, so I mean, it says it's not, and it gets filtered out of drinking water as well when we drink it. Um, but a lot of people are skeptical about the long term effects on it, on us. And yeah.
Like, I don't want to go into the whole like chemtrail conspiracy theory and stuff like that of like the
Hmm.
government is um like pouring chemicals onto the people to like control them or whatever. But like even though a substance is not harmful, like does it belong in that much quantity, in that much, I don't know what the quantities are, to be honest, like, but like,
Hmm.
should we be raining that much metal on the herbs we're going to eat or something like that? Especially like
Hmm.
silver, it's not like iron where like we have some in our diet all the time, right? Do we have silver in our diet? Do we need silver in our diet?
Yeah. There's a lot of research like that shows that it's not, but people are
Yeah.
skeptical of it, and we just don't know the long term effects of it.
Mm.
So although liquid, not liquid,
It's like
cloud
it's
seeding has been going on
sorry.
for so long, there are
Yeah.
still people, a lot more people that are very skeptical about it.
But it's like the whole microplastics, right? It's like, oh, it's not harmful, but now we're
Hmm.
realizing, like, yeah, but maybe we shouldn't have so much plastic in our blood.
Hmm. Yeah, totally.
I feel like
Um,
metal is different because like it's more like natural, quote unquote, and we have like minerals in our system naturally and stuff like that. But
mhm. And I mean, if you see why we're doing it, it is kind of we're trying to solve our own problems, right? It's to mitigate climate
yeah,
change.
oh yeah, yeah,
So it's
which
kind of
is
like putting a band aid on a big thing that we've created, a quick
well, I mean,
fix.
especially for like, well, we don't want it to rain over the Olympics. That feels so unnecessary,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? It's not like, oh, we have a forest fire to put out.
Yeah. So going into that, it's although it's not a long term remedy for areas that suffer from drought.
Cloud.
Cloud seed, I know, cloud seeding can increase seasonal participation by about 10%. But here's the kicker: like like you just said, forest fires, right? We should use it for forest fires. We should use it in areas that are suffering from drought and need the water, right?
Yeah.
You can create clouds. So this
Oh,
this only works when there are already clouds in the sky. So it needs to be done in places that have a wet season. So like we're going to talk about a bit more where it's used, but say Texas, for example, right? They're suffering from a drought every year. Their climates are getting hotter and hotter.
hmm,
So to help farmers out there and their crop, what they try and do is make it increase the wow,
precipitation.
precipitation by 10% during the wet climates to kind of, oh sorry, the wet season, to bank more water for when it does get hot and they're not able to grow a
Interesting.
crop. Yeah.
Is that why they've been having like crazy snow in the last few winters? Probably not.
Oh, interesting. Maybe it's a way that they mess with their climate.
Maybe. I'm
I
gonna go
didn't
with
see.
yes, just because it's fun to
I
like
like that. Yeah, let's say
blame the government on the snow in Texas.
it. um all right, so let's talk about what happened in Dubai. So did you hear about the floods last week?
Not at all. Oh, the
Okay.
floods?
Yeah.
No, still no.
Really?
No, but I've been having a very strange relationship with news lately.
Okay. I thought you were
Mm.
going to say with Dubai. I was like, huh? Okay, fair. I honestly I saw it because there was a lot of memes going around, and
Oh,
not memes, just like videos. And apparently,
yeah,
yeah, the and I did live there, so I do have
ties.
friends that still live there. So a lot of people were posting on social media about it, and it was insane. So you're probably listening a couple weeks ahead from when we're recording, but the floods happen on April 15th, Tuesday, I
Okay.
believe. And they were very bad. So the rumor was that they were caused by cloud seeding. You saw videos all over social media of people getting rescued and cats. There was this video of a
Mm.
cat like clinging onto a car for dear life, just stuck in the flood. And then you see like a Dubai cop in a kayak rescue the cat, and it looked
Oh,
terrified. and just like people. A friend of mine, she posted that like her whole like front yard, it wasn't really a yard. Like Dubai doesn't have that much grass, unfortunately. It
Hmm.
was just like bricks and stuff, but the whole front area was completely flooded.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, is that? I think I saw a meme of like people being stuck in a flooded elevator. Was that in Dubai?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Maybe not.
Maybe. Um, but so it was said that the storm dumped more than a year and a half worth of rain just in a few hours.
What?
Um, yeah, so flooding all the roads and the international airport as well. The neighboring country of Oman, where I also lived,
Yeah.
uh,
Isn't
also
that where you're
witnessed.
born?
No, I was born in Dubai, but I lived in Oman.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So I lived in Dubai till I was 5 and then Oman till I was 9.
Okay, okay.
But they also had very heavy rains and flooding, and their flood almost killed at least 20 people.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah. So in 2024, the UAE Research Program of Rain Enhancement Science plans to carry out staggering 300 cloud seeding missions. The UAE is nestled in the heart of one of the world's hottest and driest regions and is no stranger to water scarcity.
Hmm.
But the country isn't simply accepting its fate. Instead, it's taking proactive steps to combat this challenge through a fascinating and somewhat controversial technology called cloud seeding. Uh, the UAE's commitment to cloud seeding spans over the last 2 decades, making it a pioneer in this field. Their efforts have yielded promising results, with studies suggesting a potential 10 to 15% increase in rainfalls over cloud seeding. However,
Mm.
cloud seeding remains a complex and evolving technology. Accurately predicting suitable clouds and ensuring minimal environmental impact is an ongoing challenge. Additionally, ethical concerns have been raised about the potential of manipulating weather patterns across its borders.
Mm.
So why what happened in Dubai last week was not cloud seeding? Because rumor has it, and that's when I first heard about it. Everyone was like, "Oh yeah, the floods in Dubai were caused by their own government because they do cloud seeds so
Yeah,
often."
yeah, yeah.
So wow, my English is not Englishing today. Reports quoted meteorologist at UAE's National Center of Meteorology as saying Dubai flew 6 or 7 cloud seeding flights before the rain started. The flight tracking data, analyzed by the Associated Press news agency, also showed that one aircraft affiliated with UAE's cloud seeding efforts flew around the country on Monday.
Okay.
Uh, So this, yeah, they cloud seed also for their water shortages. But according to reports, the NCM on Wednesday said that cloud seeding took place on Sunday or Monday and not on Tuesday. So, like we talked about earlier, cloud seeding happens within 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
happened on Sunday and Monday, and the floods and the rain, the heavy rain, took place on Tuesday itself. So obviously there was rain on Sunday and Monday as well because of cloud seeding, but they did not cause the floods as much as the rain on Tuesday. Uh, Omar Al Yazidi, Deputy Director General of the NCM, told NBC News Agency that the organization did not conduct any seeding operations during this event. One of the basic principles of cloud seeding is that you have to target clouds in its early stages of before it rains. If you have a severe thunderstorm situation, then it's too late to conduct any seeding operations, he
Mm.
added. Experts and officials have debunked the speculations that cloud seeding caused the rainfall. If that occurred with cloud seeding, they'd have rain all the time. We can't create rain out of thin air per se and get 6 inches of water, said Ryan Moy, the former chief scientist at the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. So this was just blamed on a normal weather system that was probably caused by climate change. UAE and Oman also lack drainage systems to cope with heavy rain, and submerged roads are not uncommon during rainfall. So that is why they're kind of blaming this huge flooding.
Okay, well, that was my first thought. Is like it's kind of irresponsible to pour so much energy and research into cloud seeding when you don't have the infrastructures to receive a lot of water underground, right? First
Exactly.
of like, okay, well, you need good draining system and draining infrastructures if you're going to try to make it rain a lot.
Yeah. And like what
And
I
then,
didn't like as much about this one was like other countries do it because of their farmers need it in their land, but you're
mhm.
just creating it. I feel like, yeah, not for the same reasons.
Yeah, it doesn't. And the other thing is like, do we know that for sure that seeding a cloud doesn't have some lingering effects afterwards? Because if they did some seeding of clouds the few days before, well, first of all, maybe those clouds wouldn't have rained over Dubai the few days before if they
Hmm.
hadn't seeded them. So there wouldn't have been water there to evaporate back up and make that other cloud bigger. And
Yeah.
also, like, well, isn't there residual humidity in the airs afterwards instead of just passing by? Like, that's the thing. Like, are we sure there's no lingering effect from cloud seeding?
Well, I actually really like the point that you just made as well. It's like, what if those, like, we didn't, like, also, they should have seen it in their weather system that there's rain coming on Tuesday. So why are we seeding Sunday and Monday?
Yeah, something's not adding up. Like, the coincidence are a bit too big.
Right?
And we know
Yeah.
how they can be with information
Especially,
and,
yeah.
and disinformation.
Yeah. Especially coming out of like Dubai. I'm like, maybe
Exactly.
you just don't want to take the blame here.
Right.
Um, they're saying it's normal because it happened in the neighbor country as well. But I'm like, how do we know yet you didn't cause that rain as well?
That was another one of my thoughts. Like, okay, so if we're like taking this cloud on its route to God knows where and making it pour here, well, wasn't it bound to pour somewhere else down the line and it's not going to go afterwards?
Hmm.
Like, we're messing with a lot of things here. I
You're
feel like
mess exactly.
it's a
Kind of
much
feels
more
like you're playing
complex
God.
system. Yeah. Like, it's a very, very complex system that we're trying to simplify for some very nebulous needs, it seems.
Hmm.
Like, so far, we're, avoiding rain on the Olympics and creating rain in. Why were we creating rain in Dubai?
You know what? It doesn't really say why they were seeding, but they just carry out. It was said that this year they planned on carrying out 300 cloud seeding missions. I guess for the water scarcity that they have. Um,
Scarcity.
Scarcity.
Is that what
Thank
you're,
you.
is that what you're
Yeah,
trying to
that
say?
is what I'm trying
Scarcity?
to say.
Okay, okay. Because it's like, oh, like it's sacred?
I literally thought it was that word. I didn't know scarcity was a word.
Yeah. You said it like three times also before I corrected you.
Are you doing this on purpose? You make
No,
another meme out of me? I'm
no,
joking.
it just, yeah.
Um, all right, but do you want to like a better story on why they do it? Here in Canada,
Yep.
uh, it's often used to lessen the damage caused by hail. So, getting
Okay.
moisture in the clouds that are going to fall as rain and snow. Sorry, by getting moisture in the clouds to fall as rain and snow before it can build up into hail. So, in 2014, fighting hailstorms in Alberta is getting a whole lot busier, according to the people of Alberta Hail Suppression Project. So they use planes to fly into the storms and seed clouds in order to lessen the damage caused by hails. The insurance industry pays up to $3 million a year to lessen the impact of hailstorms by cloud seedings, where storms are brewing, with the hope that they can. It results in fewer and less
Save money.
expensive.
What? Like,
As I
this is
started
not,
saying insurance claims, I'm
this
like,
is
oh, he's
not
not
a
going to be
better
happy with this one.
story. No. It's like, oh my God.
Okay, but I'm also thinking about like just like being that person whose car gets plummeted by hail
Yeah, but why do you think the hail is getting worse?
because
It's
of
because
us.
climate change effects.
Yeah.
right? And also, like, weather happens.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is like, especially like in a country like Canada, we have to put up with weather if we want to live here.
Mm-hmm.
Weather happens, and we have systems in place like insurance to help us protect us from that. And now you're telling me the insurance doesn't want to pay up, so they're going to go mess with
Yeah.
the clouds?
The insurance is like, fuck these claims. Someone feed these
Yeah.
clouds so the hail doesn't come down.
I mean,
I was very
this,
surprised to learn that. Like that's something that happens, that the insurance pays the country, I
that it's
guess.
backed by the insurance. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
weird. I would think it would be the government or something like that, or, but
Mm-hmm.
that it's backed by the insurance makes it super sketch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're totally right. Well, it water seeding obviously happens a lot in the U.S. Lots of different states like Idaho, Utah, Colorado, Wyoming. I like that state name, Wyoming.
I like how it's spelled.
W Yoming.
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's cool.
Um, California and Nevada all have expanded their cloud seeding operations in the last 2 years in response to the worsening drought. Um, so
I hate that. Sorry, you're
for
seeing my
those of
very
you
strong
that are not
reactions.
watching the video, he not only did a whole eye roll, he did a whole head roll.
Head roll. It's like, it's just like, those memes where they're like, oh, we found like this very prehistoric virus in the ice sheet, and like people are just like, leave it there, we're fucked enough, don't stop messing with it, leave it there. That's what's
Yeah.
going through my head. Is like, this is not the time to be messing with the weather and playing god with the weather, guys. What are we doing?
Yeah, that's so true. But okay, so in Nevada, Reno is the city, I think. Area alone, winter cloud
Reno.
seeding.
Reno,
Reno.
Nevada.
Am I okay right now?
I don't
Am
know.
I you?
Young? Oh, maybe it's
Winter
because you've been
cloud
sober for too
seeding.
long.
Maybe this isn't just water, guys. There's a little
Yeah.
vodka in here.
You're
I'm
good.
kidding. Yeah, I think I just can't speak.
I
All right.
mean, we solved it.
All right. So in Reno,
Hmm.
Nevada,
Yeah.
winter cloud seeding efforts are estimated to add enough water to supply over 40,000 households a year. Because they're in a drought.
Because they live in the desert.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the thing, right? It's like, it's a desert.
yeah.
So, yeah, it's not very livable. It's very hostile because it's a desert.
Actually, from the video that I watched, what they said was usually during the drought, or during the summer, they were able to have enough water because there'd be enough snowfall in the spring mountains, that
Mm.
the water would then collect, or sorry, the snow would melt into water that they could use. But because
Okay, okay.
their climate during the winter isn't as harsh now, that they are running out of water. So there used to be
Mm.
water, but mankind has ruined this world. So mankind is just trying to fix it. This, I think, is a rational reason. Water for households.
I guess, because
It's not
there's
for
a
things like
population there and stuff like
Olympics.
that, and we
Yeah.
have nowhere to move these people, right? It's just,
Hmm.
but eventually we're going to have to face the fact that we're going to have mass uh, refugee weather and climate refugees
Hmm.
problem, because we won't be able to solve all the weather problems with chemtrails.
Yeah. Yeah. And like at first I was like, whoa, like cloud seeding is actually very beneficial. There's obviously there's a disadvantage, but also advantages to it, right? But when
Yeah,
we realized, not when we realized, when it said that like you can create clouds, right? It needs those clouds in the
yeah,
air
yeah,
to create the rain. It's like, okay, no, this is not like a solve. This is just a remedy for now kind of thing, you
yeah.
know?
And like,
Um,
I know there's a lot of research that's made apparently that it's not, like, there's no negative impact and stuff like that. But why do I have such a hard time believing it?
um,
It feels like,
I I believe because it's been around for so long, there isn't as many disadvantages. that there are advantages, but I do agree with you. Like, I just don't think it's fair for us to be playing God.
Yeah.
Like UAE bragging about doing 300 of these cloud seeding operations this year. And then it's like, it was almost like karma where they got flooded, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And then now someone's like, well, it wasn't our fault. And it's like, okay, but you're not going to continue doing this. Is that smart? Do you not think you've collected enough
Yeah.
water now? You know? Like,
Do you think you guys are good now? Do you
yeah,
think you've got enough? Maybe just
yeah,
hold on to that one.
exactly. A whole year and a half's worth of rain in a couple of hours. Now keep
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
No more cloud
You
seeding
better not let
operations.
that go to waste.
Exactly. Um,
I know it's a tragedy and some people lost some very uh, dear property and it create damage. Oh, and people lost their lives also. So.
yeah, I know. I don't feel as bad as for Oman, but or sorry, as Dubai, but I do feel bad for Oman because people lost their
Mhm.
lives. Um, but yeah,
Did
but
you lose? You-
I lost my trail of thought. I thought I had another story to tell you, and I was like, nope, back to my notes.
right.
So also Texas has been suffering from a drought and extreme heat for over 100 years now. And they use cloud seeding in the rainy months to help farmers with their crops as well. A lot of the time that if they don't collect enough water and if the ground isn't moist enough, the crops just don't grow, right? So cloud seeding is
Yeah.
used for those reasons. Yeah. So China
Hmm.
also uses cloud seeding. The country has committed, and this is a statement from China's State Council, that the country is committed to bringing about 5.5 million square kilometers of its land area under its weather modification program by 2025. It's like the size of India from what I saw.
What? I don't like that.
That's a lot of land.
They're trying to like change the what's it called, the ecosystem of that size of land.
Yeah. Um, but there are obviously impacts of this, as it may disrupt the normal monsoon in neighboring countries such as India, Myanmar, Vietnam. And this also would have um, adverse impacts on the agriculture of these countries, rising potential to form quote unquote rain stealing. So I guess it's like, yeah, stealing rain from the clouds. Like you see these clouds, they've rained on China, but now they go to India and India was expecting rain during their monsoon and now they don't have rain.
Wait, that's so dystopian. Now we're
Yeah.
like, oh, like the big superpowers of the world are gonna like steal the rain from other countries, and that's so dystopian.
So when I read that, I was like, okay, yeah, this is like, yeah, it's almost like you think it's mitigating a problem right now, and you're like, oh, I'll just make this cloud rain to help our crop in
Yeah,
our country. But you don't realize the adverse effects that cloud now has on the different countries that it's going to move on to, you know?
yeah,
And like,
or
sure,
not move on to.
yeah. And like, sure, you're during your wet seasons, you know, saved enough rain for yourself, but what's going on? Yeah, it just doesn't feel right anymore.
No, like I was thinking, like, oh, is there a scenario in which I find this kind of technology really cool? And I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, say we go to another planet and we like terraform another planet where like a planet's not livable, but we have the technology to like terraform it and make it livable and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
like that's really cool. But it kind of feels like that's what we're trying to make to fix our mistakes to our own planet.
Like fix, yeah, exactly. I think that 100%. This is us trying to put a band-aid on what we've done,
Yeah, exactly.
you
And I don't
know?
know, it doesn't feel cool. It doesn't
Yeah,
feel cool at all.
it doesn't. There's a scary possibility of contamination as one of the disadvantages. A significantly unknown, sorry, there. Wow, what did I have written here? So mishandling silver iodine and other chemicals could set off a chain reaction of environmental
Move,
pollution.
sorry, move backwards a little bit because you went over your mic and we don't hear you as well anymore.
Okay, how about now?
Now we hear you good.
Shall I repeat what I said?
Yes, please.
So there's a scary possibility of contamination.
Yeah.
Mishandling of silver iodine and other chemicals could set off a chain reaction of environmental pollution, with consequences echoing across the natural ecosystem and posing tangible risks to human health. A serious task at hand is to navigate and mitigate these contamination risks. Um, by standing as a linchpin in our overarching goal of reaping the benefits of cloud seeding without inevitable cost. So kind of like what you were saying, we don't know what the adverse effects are. And what if the silver iodine going into these clouds has been mishandled and now it just rains all over our water system, our crops, and us?
Especially if we're like doing it more and more and more, and everyone's bragging about like, oh yeah, we're gonna do it so much this year and stuff like that, and like it's like kind of a
Yeah.
competition to like who can like master this technology the best.
Hmm. So
What's
insane.
linchpin?
Linchpin. I don't know actually. I got this off of a website, and as I read it, read it as linpinch.
I like
Linchpin
linpin
is
too.
a person or a thing vital to an enterprise or organization.
Okay.
I learned a new word today.
Yeah.
Okay, another crazy thing that I just want to touch on that Dubai is doing. I couldn't find any recent information on it. The last information I read is from 2021. And this idea was proposed in 2017 is cloud zapping. Have you heard of this?
No.
So kind of like the word is, the Emirati Weather Center is using drones to zap the air into submission. So these,
What?
right?
Why do they have to use those words?
Just zap the air into submission, like a
Oh my
little
god.
whip.
That sounds kind of
Uh,
kinky actually.
right? These drones are designed to target certain clouds and then use electrical discharge via concentrated lasers into forcing pool droplets into the air, thus triggering the desired rainfall. With the equivalent of an atmospheric cattle prod, Dubai has achieved just that. And there's so many videos all over the internet, and that was posted in 2021 about just like pouring rain, and they're bragging about the fact that they're cloud zapping. And these are like little
Wild.
unmanned aircrafts that they send into the air and that just like zap the crowd and I guess make it rain. I feel like this is like a way of them mimicking thunderstorms.
I don't know. Like I don't I don't know. I like I know it's dumb because like clouds are obviously not living creatures. But
You
like
feel bad
for
for the
me, I'm just like,
clouds?
stop zapping the clouds. Leave the clouds alone.
Leave the
They'll rain when they
clouds
want to.
alone. That's
Just
so
like
funny.
don't go zapping clouds. They're all cute and fluffy.
Oh my god, I'm dying. That's so funny. I don't see any clouds out here today, but yeah, you know what, clouds? I'm thinking of you. I hope they do leave them alone. Don't zap no more clouds. Um, At first, and I do think this is a cool thing. Like I kept thinking of forest fires. We do have a lot of those here in Canada, especially in our summer months. But at the same time, like, yeah, it's so hot that we don't have clouds in the sky. You
No, and
know?
like at some point, you know, things have a cycle. Like I don't want to get all um like metaphorical and whatnot, but like there's a normal cycle of thing and of life and stuff like that. And because we are spreading more and more over the entire planet, and we're like, well, these things are really inconvenient for us, so we're demonizing them and stuff like that. But like forest fires is just part of the normal cycle of the forest, and
Well, go ahead. Sorry, I'll let you complete your thought.
it creates like very fertile ground for the forest to regrow in afterwards and stuff like that, right? Same thing with like um like rain seasons and stuff like that. And there's like a normal cycle of stuff that
Mm-hmm.
has been, I think there's a lot of things that are worsening because of climate change. Um, but also, it feels like we're trying to fix situations because they're inconvenient to us, but it doesn't mean that they're necessarily bad things for nature.
Mm-hmm.
You
Well,
know,
like I think like obviously
and
like
it's hard to tell that. It's hard to tell that to someone who's like lost their home and then their entire saving into a forest fire, and I understand
yeah.
that.
Well, I do think yeah, forest fires are very common here unfortunately, but they are getting really bad as the years go by. But like,
Yeah,
this just kind of came to me, but the like here in BC, we get a lot of bad forest fires, especially out in the Okanagan and stuff like that during the summer. Um South of us are the states that are being impacted by a drought and using cloud seeding. We are north of them. We don't suffer from a drought during our summer months, but what if that's coming to us because all the water that we are supposed to be getting during our
they're not.
summer months
It's not traveling to us.
is not traveling to us? And that is what's causing our fires to get bad and bad.
California is stealing your water, man.
Yeah, California's pulling a fast one on us here. I'm
There
joking. I
you go.
don't want to blame any states specifically, but I do think, yeah, like I think for to an extent, yes, cloud seeding and these technologies are good, but I think, yeah, bragging about how many you're doing a year and doing them for reasons that are not the best. Um,
That's the thing, right? It's just like the one that got me the most is the Olympics.
mhm,
It's like, wait, we did what now?
yeah, just so because like they didn't want it to rain on an event.
Yeah.
It's like postpone the event.
Yeah. Or like,
I'm sure the millions of dollars that
have
goes
a
into
rain
cloud
plan.
seeding is about the same as postponing an event or yeah, having a backup plan on it for a rainy day.
Yeah. It's just like and it feels more for like, especially China's very big into like their image and like the eyes of the world were on them and stuff like that. And it's like, but it's just like, yes, rain happens,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's weird. And like that, I get that the technology is very exciting,
Mhm.
but it feels like we haven't done our homework yet. And it's like, because the thing is with new technology,
Mhm.
we don't have like a governing, we're not like one world who agree on how to use all things and stuff like that, right? But
Mhm.
technology, once it exists, everyone has access to it,
Yeah.
well, like more or less, right? So now it's just like, well, they're going to use it like this, so we better get on it because they're going to steal our clouds and stuff like that. Or like, well, we don't care about the climate in this place, so we're going to do it because we need it. And it's just like, it feels like, well, now it's too late, and it's going to be up to corporations apparently and insurance to decide if we're getting rain or not.
Yeah. I don't even think like it's not new technology, right? It's been around for so long. What I think is now that
It's
like
not.
now we're starting to realize like, oh, all the effects we've done for towards climate change. So instead of taking our resources and just stopping the stuff that we're doing, it's like, no,
Mm,
let's find ways to like put a
yeah,
band-aid on it and so people
yeah,
don't
yeah,
freak
yeah,
out yet?
yeah. Let's try to
Like
minimize the effects for as long as possible, so we can keep, um, so we don't have to adjust our way of doing
yeah,
things for as long as possible.
exactly. So we don't have to change as mankind. We can just
Yeah,
use these
yeah,
things to prevent it from
yeah.
worsening as they think.
Wow,
That got deep real
that's
quick.
yeah.
From clouds to mankind needing to
Oh,
evolve. Whoops, and now my mic fell on my chest.
oh my god, you're so clumsy with your mic. I feel like you're always playing with something when you're
I'm
talking.
always it's like I'm not even playing with my mic. I play with my like mic's wire.
Oh,
And then
smart.
the box underneath. I have a very professional setup here, friends.
Yeah, I have a little box under mine too.
Yeah. You told me you're like, oh, I just use a box under mine. I was like, oh, I have boxes.
Do you use the same one every time? Mine is my podcast box now.
Oh no, mine's like the box the mic came in.
Oh, smart. I like that.
Yeah. But that is all I had. Aren't you glad I wasn't just talking about clouds? Would you have killed
I
me?
got so scared. I was already picturing like me having to interrupt you and say like, hey, maybe we have to like record some other time. Do you want to revisit this idea?
Um,
Because for a minute, I thought like maybe she's not aware that like how clouds work is common information that everybody knows.
okay, I actually do want to talk about though. Um, huge shout out to my friend's boyfriend, Lucky's boyfriend Cap. He gives me these ideas. Like
Ooh,
he's the one who told me about like. Well, he goes like, "Do you know pigeons are very expensive?" And I go, "What?" And then I like deep dive into pigeons.
oh,
And then
nice.
she said that like she told me that she's like, "Oh, like Cap told me that the Dubai floods were caused by cloud seeding." And then I like went in. But oh my god, where did my story come from?
I was saying how I'm glad you didn't talk about how
Oh,
clouds are
okay, yeah.
made.
So huge shout out to them. Then I was telling Avril I'm doing an episode on cloud seeding, right? And he's like, "Oh, cool." Then he goes, "Do you know clouds can't like you can make clouds?" And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, like NASA makes clouds." And I was like, "No way." But I went in, I debunked it. That's fake. It's
Oh
like a
yeah.
fake article that NASA makes clouds. And I like looked at him and I laughed and I was like, "You believe this the whole time?" It's like 6 years ago too.
Isn't there like this like conspiracy that like they create clouds to hide like some high tech spying spacecraft to like they fly around
Yeah.
with clouds?
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Maybe because I remember when I googled like does NASA make clouds? There's a video of them making clouds, but it's
Oh yeah.
not. It's just like generating smoke or something.
It's just a smoke machine at like some
Yeah,
corporate party.
they made clouds in a building, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm glad
That
that you enjoyed
was
it.
fascinating.
Thanks.
Terrifying, disturbing,
Yeah.
but you know, I miss the days where I could just say like, well, if the government's on board with it, it must be fine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And like, unfortunately, it's just not good
How many
enough
times did
of
you
an
say
argument
that in your
anymore.
life, though?
I used to have that kind of trust in the government.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if I
Maybe I was
did.
just young and naive.
Yeah.
Anyways, this got political. We tried to
I
avoid
know.
this one here.
All right. Well, thank you for listening, guys.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next
See you
week.
next week when I talk about summer. I'm
No.
kidding.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Tell Me Like I'm Stupid is created and produced by us, Saniya and Thomas. You can follow us on Instagram at Tell Me Like I'm Stupid.
If you'd like to support us, please subscribe and review on your favorite podcast streaming platform. Our cover art was created by Ish. Find him on Instagram at h.e.e.s.h.
Thank you for listening.